Welcome back, everybody. Degenerates, having fun again here at Vaquero Taquero, your authentic Austin 6th Street cantina. We're here with Mando from United Tacos of America.
That's right, United Tacos of America, Tacos of Texas, taco journalists. If you don't see something out there, you have to give yourself the title that you want.
For sure, man. I'm liking all these taco journalist conversations because I'm like, man, the more food that I get, the better. You know what I mean?
Right. But too bad, like, the kitchen's closed today, though.
I know. But thank you to Miguel for opening up this spot for us for today. Always good to like be part of a community that supports each other. You know what I mean?
Andale,
so what are we doing today, dude? We're doing taco takes or what?
Yeah, no, we're just having a big old conversation on taco culture. We're in Texas. Tacos were here before Texas was Texas, right? This was Mexico. And so there's a lot of history. There's a lot of stories, here in the state of Texas, whether they're restaurant workers, kitchen workers, taqueros, tortilleras. And for me, that's like, we got to honor those experiences.
For sure. Why don't we start with you?
All right.
Let's do... Tell us who you are. Where can we find you? What's your MO? Taco journalist, you know what I mean? Talk us through the entire gambit so people can get to know you and then can go follow you also, separately. But let's get onto you and then we'll get onto the whole the history.
Yeah, órale. Well, I'm the host and the producer of the Tacos of Texas podcast, and I do have my own production company called Identity Productions, and we have our partnership with KUTX and KUT Austin here in Austin, Texas. And I'm on a monthly program on Texas Standard, and I talk about all these themes that are happening, whether they're hot trends to digging into the culture, some of the history, and then under that or part of that is United Tacos of America on Instagram. And so before that, there was a couple books, before that, even way before Yelp. So now it's a 20-year overnight success story, bro. And so it was like back in the day when people used to blog, right? That's how I started writing, because I saw that the cultura wasn't really represented right. And so for me, it was super important. And a lot of it was just shtick on the culture. And I'm like, nah, bro, you got to do it right. You got to do it, because what we do, what we provide in kitchens, in our homes, to this place, it has value and worth. And so for me, I was like, hey, we got to tell these stories that feel good. And we're telling the stories, right? And so back in the day, started blogging, then did a book on Austin breakfast tacos and another one on Tacos of Texas with UT Press here in town.
Okay.
And then I started a production company with a partner of mine, Dennis Burnett, good friend, El Flaco Rojo is what we call him. And so he's usually behind the camera. I'm in front of the camera and producer. And so we started telling these stories. We started here in Austin. I'm originally from El Paso, Chuco Town. And, for me, it's like this introduction into food and food culture.
Yeah.
And so, we when we did our our second book, Tacos of Texas, we went to 10 different cities to cover the taco culture, and this was way before anybody had written any books around food. People didn't believe we were writing a book on tacos, right?
They just thought you were free food.
What?
They just thought we're trying to get free food. We're writing a book.
No, not at all, right? So that whole idea, it was because we were asking the restaurant workers. We were asking somebody's tia, somebody's abuela. It wasn't like a celebrity chef. Oh, look, let's talk to the celebrity chef because they're doing great things,
right,
and whatnot. And there is a space for that. But for me, it was about how do we get these stories of my tia and my tios that showed me how to make carnitas in the rancho, right, and I had to transcribe what a puño de sal is, you know what I mean, and into a cookbook, right? And so I wanted to make sure that we honored those stories that right?
Of course,
stories that you grew up with,
of course,
but maybe don't get written about or don't get shine the light on, right?
Right.
And so we did that, and then after that, we did a PBS series with the same namesake, Tacos of Texas, and we went to different, different cities, Corpus, San Antonio, Brownsville, El Paso, Dallas, you name it, and infused the culture. And culture, like when you think about tacos, it's not just about the food, right?
Yeah.
And it's about the cultura, it's about the music, about the experiences. So we're talking about like
the community, yeah.
The community, right? And
yeah.
so we've always like featured like, the cultura, like taco adjacent things like the cumbias, right?
Norteña,
and the norteño music, but also like the histories of our people, and anyway, so and then El Rey hit us up one day and on Facebook, if you can imagine that.
That's crazy,
right? Yeah, with Robert Rodriguez's studio, and we did United Tacos of America, and that was a TV show. You can still watch it on Roku.
There you go.
And so we went to like the big cities, went to like LA and Chicago and New York,
that's dope.
Pero también Kentucky. And New Orleans. And we, for every story that we tell, we have to trace the story of the immigrant. Porque ahí, that's where the food starts, right? And so whether you're like a 7th generation Tejano or you just recently arrived, you're doing something for this community, and we want to capture and tell those stories.
I could not agree more. That is like, I mean, over the past year and a half, that's what our brand has been catering to, is like we have to tell these stories. We have to try to get a timeline of the way that our people have impacted culture, have permeated pop culture, have changed the dynamics and the tapestry of America as a whole. And it doesn't get its just due because of, every 4 years there's an immigration conversation. Right. Every 4 years there's like a protectionist conversation of America and the borders and things like that. So for me, it's fascinating that this conversation, or that people like you have been really doing this work for a very, very, very long period of time. So it's an honor on my end to sit down with you, because I just recently got on this venture because I felt like it was a need. We originally started just talking shit, and we wanted to just like have fun with our friends, and then the more and more that we kept on like pulling at that thread, the more we realized, holy shit, like we know our story intimately, because it just like lives inside us in a lot of ways. But people don't know this story. People don't know, you know what I mean? And then there's like these weird moments, at least for me, there's these weird moments where it feels very jarring, because it'll be like, no, immigrants are bad, immigrants are this and that. I'm like, immigrants just cooked your food.
Yeah, right.
Like immigrants just, like, you just said queso. You were walking around eating chips and guac. Like immigrants didn't provide that experience for you. Or the immigrants didn't bring that with them. Or, So anyway, aside, we don't have to get into that realm. But in general, big props to you and all of the efforts in your company and everything that you've been doing to try to keep that conversation alive, because I think it's important, and documenting it is incredibly important. And in a lot of ways, when people use the word undocumented, I don't really think about illegal. I think about our story just hasn't been properly documented. We're not in the history books. We're not in the, they don't talk about Latinos when it comes to American history all that often. They don't talk about how much of an impact that we've made. They don't talk about how borders crossed us and not the other way around. Like,